Robin, that was fast. Hi everybody, welcome to Monday's live stream. I'm sorry, I'm super late. I was on the phone with my mom and making some tea, so a little bit of a hectic morning.
New color stay full cover.
11:05. Okay, I wonder, the chat must start when I first, not when I press go live, but when I set it up, huh? I didn't know that. Sorry for the wait. Hi, Debs. I'm good, Robin. How are you, sweetheart? Camera might shake a bit. Kitty's jumping up. What you doing, girl? Hi. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Robin. Hi, Christine. Thanks for joining. Hi, Louise. Everyone coming in. Dash. Sorry I'm late, guys. Hi, Precious. Hi, Jody. Hi, Kim. Thanks for joining, everyone. So, we are going to continue in Daydreams. Let me just get everything set up here. I'm a little bit behind today, as you can probably tell. So for those of you who might have missed it, we did an impromptu Friday stream and we started this page in Daydreams. So if you want to go check that out, feel free. We're going to be continuing from there. And I just need to figure out what colors I used. So for the flowers, we used pink Neocolor as a base, and then we went over top with mulberry, hot pink, blush pink, and white. And then we also put black cherry and pomegranate in for the centers of the flowers. And I am super excited to finish this one. I'm not sure it will turn out exactly how I'm envisioning it, but I'm gonna have fun and just kind of wing it anyways. Just gonna pull out these colors here. Usually I leave my work in progress colors out. I'm not sure why I put them back. Okay, black cherry and pomegranate. I think I got them all. Yeah, Jody. Want to do 1 or 2 Friday night streams a month, just for those who can't make it to the morning streams due to crazy time difference. So unfortunately that means a lot of you that join in the mornings will have crazy time difference then and won't be able to make those streams. But kind of balances itself out, I think. Okay, so I got my colors out. Let's go ahead and zoom in. I'm gonna get this top corner flower done first because it's kind of in the way. Sorry. Kitty's wiggling around. So of course I've got my paper tucked in behind my page. And then I want to keep these flowers fairly light, so I'm just going to go in with my mulberry, and this is my darkest color. And I'm going to come in and around all these little bits where the petal's coming in from behind something, but I don't want to bring this shadow out much at all. So just a really slight shadow. And then I'm just going to run my pencil along these little folds in the flower too to create a little bit of a shadow as well. And just continue doing that. It's going to be a little bit repetitive. We might do a couple of the flowers and then start in on the lily pads or something just to kind of break it up a bit, just so we're not doing the same thing throughout the whole stream. Exactly, as long as YouTube complies and allows them to. I have heard that a few people have not been able to save their streams, which kind of bothers my OCD. Let's knock on wood that that won't happen. It's always so much fun coloring pieces that go into the binding, and that is heavy sarcasm. Robin, this is Daydreams. So the first one. I only have 2 of her books. I have Daydreams and Summer Nights. I do like her other ones. I just haven't gotten more of them because I don't color in these ones very often because they kind of intimidate me, so... Not going to worry too much about this page because I'll probably go over it with paint or something, so I'm not going to worry about getting pencil on it. So how is everybody today? Hopefully well, even though it's a Monday. So I'm going to put a little bit of a shadow on these folded bits here. Hi Sarah, thanks for joining. Oh my goodness, Robin. She must be one of your favorite artists then, huh? Or did you mess up on a few pages and have to replace the books? Next I'm going to go in with the hot pink, and again this is a little too dark for my liking, so I'm not going to bring it up much. I'm going to use it as a transition color. So I'm just going to pop that in over top of the mulberry, kind of blend into the mulberry over top of it to soften the color a bit, and then just fade it up very slightly. On bits like this with the curved flower pieces, I'm just going to pop a little bit of a shadow in up top. Hi Dorothy! Oh, that sounds fun, Precious. I'm good, thank you. Especially considering it's a Monday, but for me, pretty much every day is a Monday, so... Welcome back, Debs. I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sharpen this hot pink. Hi Candy, happy Monday to you too. So I'm going to get a really sharp point on this pencil, and then I'm going to just run it along this whole side here just to get the color in there. I'm going to try and fade it out a little bit. Just like that. Alright, from there I'm going to grab the blush pink. And we're going to have quite a bit of this color, so I'm going to blend it in over top of pretty much everything, and then I'm going to bring it up top and just fade it out. I want the tips of these to be kind of white, kind of like a really pale whitish pink color. Dorothy, if that question is for me, I'm doing fine, thanks, sweetheart. That doesn't sound very fun, but I'm glad that you can watch. Keep you occupied at least. I always hate waiting in the doctor's office, it's so boring. Especially for me because I don't usually use my data, so if I'm at the doctor's office, I don't really have anything to do. Oh, I'm glad to hear that, Christine. How did it work out for you? Alright, and then from there I'm going to grab my white, which I'm going to need my extender pencil for because it's getting pretty tiny. Oh, sounds good, Precious. Enjoy your dinner. I'm going to come in with my white, and I'm just going to blend this just slightly into our lightest pink, and just use it to color and burnish the tips of our petals. Ooh, I will definitely have a look. I might have already seen it even, I'm not sure. I had quite a bit to do this morning because there was a video posted of this Brandon fellow who does, I'm not sure if he does videos on YouTube or just Facebook, but Hannah ended up sending him some of her books and he opened them on his video, which created quite a few more fans of Hannah's work, so tons of requests this morning for both the VIP group and the normal group. So I've been hopping around quite a bit on social media trying to deal with all that. Okay, so we do have a little bit of the center bits here, but for the most part, they're pretty small. So what I'm going to do is take the pomegranate, just lightly touch in a little bit of color. Oops. And then I'll use my white to just kind of blend it out a little bit. And then I'm going to grab my Posca pen. And what we did on the other flower is I just kind of used the Posca pen to lighten up just the very tips of all these little wiggly bits. And then just add a few dots. So I'm just going to do that very slightly here. It's not very noticeable, but I'm a little OCD, so I got to do the same thing on every flower. Of course you can, Robin. And hi, Nick and Tina. Thanks for joining. Oh, Dash, I'm jealous. I have one of the full sets and a few replacement pencils that I grabbed at Michael's, but other than that, I need to, well, not really need to, I'd like to buy a replacement set. Okay, 1 second, guys. Close your eyes if motion makes you dizzy. Robin, I have this little, let's see if I can zoom out here. This is literally like a $4 camera thing that I bought at my dollar store. So basically my phone just clips in here so that way it's facing downwards, and that's what I use. Super cheap, but it's useful and it helps because I have this desk here, so that's really the only reason that I'm able to do so. I did have it clipped onto my actual desk. Sorry, I think I called this a desk. That's a shelf. I did have it clipped onto my actual desk, but it would shake when I colored, so getting a shelf put above my desk was my next solution for that, and it definitely works. I'll actually see. I wonder if I still have the box. I probably don't. No, unfortunately, I don't think I do, so I can't remember exactly what they called it. But it works anyways. I'd check your dollar stores and see if you can find anything like that. Hi, Shara. Welcome. Thanks for joining. Just catching up on chat here, guys. Yeah, I definitely didn't have the funds to spend on anything fancy, so I got my cheap little $4 stand here, and I actually have another one in my closet as a backup just in case. Okay, so we'll do one more flower, I think, and then we'll get started on maybe change it up and do some of the lily pads or something. So again, I'm going to go in with my mulberry, and same thing, I just want to have very, very slight shadows. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to make my shadows even smaller on this flower here, just to kind of create a little bit of difference, so not all the flowers look exactly the same, but they'll still be the same colors. Jody Hun, are you still here? If you are, I don't know if you've seen my comment. I haven't looked to see if there's a reply, but I finally got around to watching a few of your videos, and I watched your your coloring with food and drink one. Oh my goodness, did I have a laugh over that. I had no idea that you had an accent. I had no idea that you had an accent, and I could seriously listen to you say the word ketchup like all day. Dorothy, this is Daydreams by Hanna Karlzon. Guys, keep in mind, if the quality of the video isn't too good, you can always change your settings as well. Just throwing that out there because I always forget to when I'm watching other people's stream. I almost made it to Dee Dee's stream this morning too, but then my mom called. Well, you definitely do. I'm going to assume you are in the UK, or at least your accent sounds slightly British at least. I figured so. Yeah, I didn't know that until I watched your video. Still have a lot of yours to catch up on though. I've watched a few of them. some of your completed book ones. I'm amazed at how many books you've completed. Makes me want to complete one. Working on it, but it's taken a lot longer than I thought. Nick and Tina, if you're here still, you guys are streaming tonight, right? Or Tina is, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm going to try to be around for that, hopefully. Fairy Miracles. That one sounds familiar. Who's that by? Oh my goodness, Jody. Well, that's 5 more books than I have. As you all probably know by now, I'm working on completing Mermaids and Fairies, but it's going to take me a while. I'm not even half done the book yet, so... Okay, so from there, again, we're going to grab our hot pink and just blend this over top and slightly out from the mulberry. Or, sorry, yeah, mulberry, right? Yes. And actually, before I continue coloring, one thing that I'm going to do here, I'm going to grab out a couple of the Staedtler pigment liners. Only my 0.1 and 0.5 works, so let me just see which one matches with this line work better. Oh, that's right. Her books are gorgeous. I can only dream of owning one. The shipping is crazy, but I love seeing other people color. I'm not even sure I would get one because it'd be kind of like Hanna Karlzon's in the fact that I probably would be too intimidated to color in it. Yes, I love your coloring style, Jody. But even though you say you don't really care about, you know, having it like absolutely as perfect as you can get it and worry about how it looks, they still turn out looking absolutely beautiful. I'm just taking a pencil in here and I'm just kind of drawing in the line of this flower over the dragonfly, and then I'm going to go in over top with my pigment liner. I'm just going to go over where I believe that this flower would go in underneath the wings because I want these wings to look translucent. So I'm going to do the same thing for this little guy. So I'm just going to finish in these flowers the best I can. They don't need to be perfect. Hi, Elizabeth. Nick and Tina, did you hear my question? Or if you already answered, maybe I missed it. Are you guys are streaming tonight, right? Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and then I'll come back in and erase the pencil underneath. And then I'm just going to carry on with the hot pink. Again, trying really hard not to add too much of this. I want this flower to be the lightest colored flower. But again, I'm also going to add a little bit of the hot pink on the petals that have a folded piece coming in over top. Just a little bit of a shadow. Also just going to pop a little bit of this color in at the bottom of where these folds come out from. So what's everybody working on? I've got 3 works in progress on the go. I've only filmed one part of our Christmas color along in the Hanna Lynn book, so I've got 3 more parts to go. And then I actually started in Mythomorphia, I think it's not yesterday, but the day before, I think. And I'm having a blast with that one. It's been too long since I worked in that book. Next we're going to go in with the blush pink. Again, I'm just going to put this in over top of all of our darker colors and then blend it out a little bit. I don't want to bring this out too far. I want the majority of the petal to be white, or at least half of the petal if we can. If we can't, not a huge deal. If some of the petals are a little bit darker than others, it's just going to add to the interest of the flower. Bring this color out through the dragonfly's wing, not its body though. Thanks, Jody. Oh, that sounds nice, Dorothy. Oh, that's exciting, Kim. Well, early congratulations to you for that. Even though you have 4 more pages, I'd call that pretty much done. Oh, that would be interesting, Dorothy. I've still yet to try grayscale. It might seem like taking on a lot, but the first grayscale book I think I'm going to grab is I think it's Christine Farron, I think is how you say her name. I might be wrong, but she's the one with the fairies book. I'm sure you guys know which one I'm talking about. Sammy's colored a few of her images, I think. Oh, thanks, Jody. Mythographic. I think I know which one that is. I think that's the one my mom bought me, but I don't get it till Christmas. Okay, so now with the blush pink, I'm going to come in and add a little bit more of this to these little folded tips of the flowers. I'm going to try to leave the very tip of them white though. And then what I'm going to do before I finish coloring this flower is I'm going to grab my Prismacolor kneaded eraser. Karen, I don't know where I got Farron from. I was close. Thanks, Loretta. And welcome. I don't think I said hi to you, but hi. So I'm going to take my Prismacolor kneaded eraser and I'm just going to get rid of the pencil line on both of those dragonfly wings that I did. Well, Jody, they are a little bit tedious though. There's a lot of small detail in them, so I don't really blame you. It'd definitely be one of those books where you start on a page and then you just kind of slowly chip away at it. Okay, so next with my white, what I'm going to do, for this part here going over the wings, I'm just very lightly going to come in and add my white. I want to still be able to go over this because I want the wings of the dragonfly to have kind of a slight blue color to them. So I don't want to burnish this area. I want to still be able to go back over it. That's okay, Loretta. Lurk away. Thanks for being here. Jade Summer images are always nice. Right, so there's the main part of the flower done. Hi, Charlotte. Thanks for stopping by, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well today. Jody. I'm usually the same way. Actually, when I started in Mythomorphia, I was going to do the turtle page following along with Sammy. But then when I was going through her videos, I realized she hasn't finished it yet. So I thought to myself, I could color what she has done so far and then leave it and wait for her to finish it. But then I have a work in progress sitting there waiting for somebody else to help me finish it. So it's like, no, I'm just going to color a different page and I'll wait till she has the page completed and then I'll follow along. That is how bad my OCD is. Hi, Elaine. Thanks for joining. Hi, Anne. Oh my goodness, YouTube actually did its job for once. I'm glad to hear that. Hi, Kimberly. Everybody coming in. I apologize if I missed anybody. Okay, so next what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab the black raspberry. Is that what I wrote down? Hold on one second. Nope, I grabbed the wrong one. I'm glad I double checked. I don't think this is the color that I used. I don't know, it very well could be, actually. Now I'm confused. Okay, hold on, let me try and color match here. I don't know, that could be it. I'm stuck. I don't know whether it was the black raspberry or the black cherry I used. I'm pretty sure I said black cherry last time I streamed, but that is what I wrote down too, but no, they're so similar I'm not even gonna worry. I wrote down, hi Connie, thank you. I wrote down black cherry, so that's the one I'm going to use. Oh, Dorothy, I feel for you. I wish you could just sit in color too. I agree, Loretta. Mythomorphia is definitely my favorite too, but I'm kind of a mythology nerd, so. Jody, do you mean like coloring wise, like how long it took you to finish it? Or it took you exactly a coloring straight a week? That's a dumb question. Never mind, don't mind me. It took you a week to finish it. Okay, so I'm gonna take the black cherry and I'm just gonna pick out these spots that look like they're kind of behind all of these little curvy thingies here. And I'm just gonna color them in. Just block color, I want them to be dark. From there, I'm just gonna pick out just a random few to kind of color in the very bottom of. I don't want too much of this color in here, but it's gonna really make the rest of the colors stand out. So is that the one you're working on then, Loretta? The centaur, that's the... that's the maze guy. Isn't he like, he's got the centaur head and then... Or does he have the body of a centaur? I honestly can't remember. As you can tell, it's not one of my favorites, but... having troubles visioning how he looks. That page, I know the page that you're talking about though, it intimidates me. I feel like I have to do realistic looking fur on it, and I'm not the worst at fur, but I'm definitely not the best either. Yeah, half man horse, that's right. Okay, so after that, I'm going to come in with the pomegranate, and I'm going to pop this in at the bottoms of all of these little curvy things, and I'm going to fade it up as I get to the top. I want the tops to be very light, so we're just going to color in the tops with white. Oh, that's right, you said that, Loretta. Sorry, I got you mixed up with somebody else. Okay, so then from here, what I'm going to do Oh my goodness, Dorothy. Yeah, that is gonna take you a while. Okay, I'm gonna come in with my white now, and I'm just gonna touch up the tips of these things and kind of blend it into the pomegranate just slightly, but for the most part I want to leave a lot of the areas dark except for the very tips. From there, I'm going to take my Posca pen and I'm just going to kind of create a little bit of like a C shape on the tips of these little swirly things. Basically just where we put the white, I'm going to outline. I don't really have any rhyme or reason for this, I just kind of felt like doing it last time I streamed, so just kind of went with my gut instinct, and I found that it kind of made it look a lot more interesting. So not only am I going to do that, but I'm also going to come in and add just some little dots to highlight these white parts. And that creates a lot of added interest because you've got such a light highlight near such a dark area, so it stands out even more than it normally would. I'm going to bring the dots out on the flower just slightly. Maybe actually put a few dots on some other petals of the flower as well. Just kind of randomly. One more right there, and oh, you are right, Laura. Make myself look bad after claiming to be a mythology nerd. That's right. Okay. Yeah, I always get those two confused actually, so. In my defense though, they are very similar. Oh, I'm sorry, I cannot answer you right now. Okay, chat's gonna be unavailable for a second. My mother-in-law's calling and I don't want to just send her straight to voicemail because then she's gonna think I'm ignoring her, which I am, but I'm gonna do it in a less rude way and make her think that I'm just not near my phone. Okay. So there's our flower done. Let's find my Panda one. She's probably trying to get a hold of Rain. So give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna go let him know. I'll be right back. Okay, he's going to call his mummy. I have to admit, I do that a lot. I am not a phone call person. Unless it's my mom or Rain. Those are usually the only two people I answer. Even the dentist and stuff, I usually send them to voicemail. If it's important, they'll leave a voicemail. And then I can choose whether or not I want to call them back. Okay, bye Kim. Have a great day. You too, hun. Oh, that's exciting, Charlotte. That's okay. Real life first, always. So just going to pick out a color for these Lilypads. So I want them to be kind of bright, but at the same time, I want kind of like an olive green tone to them as well. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I mean, don't get me wrong, if my mom calls me, I think our longest phone call was like 5 hours, so, you know, I can talk on the phone, I'd just rather not, depending on who it is. So, while I'm kind of thinking on this, I'm going to go in and just add some dots to this flower as well. Oops. Should probably put dots on this side first so I don't run my hand through it. Okay. Oh no. You can talk for England. Not quite sure what you're saying there, Jody.
Mommy.
Alright, you have two options. Listen to me very carefully. You have 1 more hour of game time today. Do you want to use it now on your phone, or do you want to save it for later?
Why is it now?
Okay, now, if you use it now, you understand that you're not playing games or on your phone for the rest of the day, right?
But why?
Well, because I just said you only have 1 more hour. So if you use it now, you don't get to play later, or you can wait and save it for later.
I want to play.
Alright. As long as you understand. Okay, 1 more hour, okay?
No, we not.
Yes. Have fun. I love you.
I love you.
Oh no, Elizabeth. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but I could just imagine someone doing that. Okay. Kind of like this light olive color. I have the olive color as well too here. I'll show you guys. Oops, where is it? Okay, right here. I feel like that's a little bit too muddy looking. Maybe not. I wonder if we mix that with the dark green, what that would do. Let's just test that out here. So... Okay, I actually like that. So I think I might actually use those colors. And then it's like taking everything in me not to just choose the brightest greens because I love bright colors. So this is actually going to be a little bit of a challenge for me. So I've grabbed the olive and the dark green, and then I do want a little bit of light in there, so I'm going to grab the grass green and then the light olive. So use those colors as a base and hope for the best. We can always go back over with pencils. So. Oh, thank you, Dorothy. It was pretty much just a flaw, actually. I wasn't expecting them to turn out that well. I definitely agree. It makes the flower look alive. Hi, Tammy, sweetheart. Thanks for joining. Hi, May. Welcome, ladies. I hope you're doing well today. So I think our Posca should be dry for the most part. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so I can hopefully get this whole lily pad in frame. I'm not 100% sure how I want to tackle this. Usually I would have the darker areas on the inside, but I'm actually kind of thinking maybe having them on the outside, but I'm not 100% sure. Oh, I just realized that after my phone call, it put my chat back to top chat, so I apologize if I missed anybody's comments. Ooh, new toys. Are these coloring toys? I'm good, hun. Thank you. Especially good for a Monday, so can't complain. Yeah, I was kind of playing around with that idea too, Jody. I think it'd be kind of interesting, actually. Let's do it that way. I think this one I'm going to go with darkness on the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dark green and I'm going to pop this in around the outside here. Kind of fade it out a little bit as much as you can with Neo colors and kind of fade it towards the center a bit. Add a little bit of this dark green up here as well. I wonder, actually, let's do both. Let's have a little bit of this dark green in on the inside as well. It's just the spur of the moment decisions that come to mind. I'm not going to fight it because they're usually the decisions that end up making it look even better. Oh, that still sounds fun, eh? Okay, so after that, I'm going to come in with the light olive. And I'm just going to pop a little bit of this in over top of the dark green. Yeah, I agree, Kimberly. The Neos are super expensive. I paid about $100 Canadian, not quite, it was a little bit under $100 Canadian for my set. And even then, I was kind of going back and forth before I finally just kind of bit the bullet and ordered them. Had a little bit of cash saved up from doing some commissioned paintings, so all in all though, I'm really happy, and actually after using them, for the price, it's really not that bad because they last a long time. I use these quite a bit, but it'd definitely be even more worth it if you can get them at a cheaper price, that's for sure. I'm just going to use this olive to kind of blend in a little bit, I think. Doesn't have to be super neat because we can push the pigment around with the water brush after. Oh yeah, if you're getting the big set, I'd definitely wait for a sale. Okay, so next with the the light olive. Actually, this is our lightest color, so I'm going to come in just kind of in the middle here and place that. And then with the grass green, I don't want too much of this color, so I'm going to pop this in very lightly and sparsely, but I'm just going to kind of put this in between the darker greens and then the light olive. And honestly, I have no idea how this is going to look, but I'm not too worried because even if I don't like it, we can go back over top with pencil anyways, so. I usually do too, Kimberly, but the price on the full set for me, couldn't do it. So next, coming in with our water brush, we're just going to come in and activate these colors. And we can start to see what it's going to look like. A little bit more water on my brush than I want, though. Hopefully that didn't bleed through. Okay, we're good. Okay, that actually turned out really good. Okay, I like that. I agree, Dorothy. There's enough colors in the 40 sets for me anyways. I actually really like them. There's a few that I'd like to get open stock, but not very many. I'd say water brush, Jody, just because you have a little bit more control over how much water you're using. And then it's less mess too. I always hate having any kind of liquid near my coloring books, so having a cup of water sitting close to my book is just a little bit too scary for me. Okay, bye Debs, enjoy your tea. Actually, I think for that bigger area, I'm going to switch to a bigger water brush. Just going to clean off my water brush and around these colors, just to make sure that I don't muddy them up too much. And I'm going to switch to a bigger water brush. Yeah, that's definitely the route I'd go, Jody. So I think I want my biggest one. And actually, the set of water brush pens that I got, they were fairly cheap pens. I think I paid $13 Canadian for them, and it came in a set of 6. So you get a small, medium, large rounded brush, and then a small, medium, and large flat tip brush. And I actually really, really like them. I'd almost say that I like them better than the Pentel Aquash brush that I bought, which was like $8 for one brush. So. Okay, I'm really, really happy with how that turned out. It is a little bit brighter than I pictured, so we'll probably dull it back down with some pencils. Hi, Charlotte J. So, just going to use, I think, that same technique on the rest of them. So, again, we're coming in with our dark green. Probably put a touch of this dark green here as well. For the most part, I'm just going to concentrate this around the outside line. And then we'll come in over top with the olive. And blend that in a little bit towards the center. And then with the grass green, I'm just going to put a little bit of this in. This is just going to be a transition color between our dark greens and our light olive green, which is our lightest color. Just 1 second. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out a little bit here. Maybe we can just work on the rest of the Lilypads quicker. Kimberly, yes, they're just like normal watercolors, so they do reactivate. Yeah, no problem at all, Kimberly. So just going in around the edges of these lily pads and a little bit in the center. This is one thing I always find funny about the neon colors too. So I don't know if you can see it, but I just get some color on my hand because when I hold them, it usually rests right here. So by the time I'm done using my neo colors, my hand looks very pretty. Charlotte, this is Daydreams by Hanna Karlzon. We started this one on an impromptu Friday stream, so I figured we'd just carry on with it. So again, if any of you missed Friday's stream and want to watch it, feel free to go check that out. Sorry, I'm just going to turn my book a little bit here. Oh, hi Amparo. I hope I'm saying your name properly. Thanks for joining. So next we're going to come in with the olive, and again I'm going to put this in over top of the dark green and bring it out a little bit towards the center. And we'll do that for all the remaining lily pads. Again, I'm not being very neat with this. Okay, good. I always feel bad when I mispronounce somebody's name. Okay, from there, actually I think I'm just going to add a little touch more of the olive in here, just really lightly. Just again, because I don't want these to be too bright. From there, I'm actually going to grab the light olive and just going to throw that on there first. Now I realize that I'm just working on one lily pad. That's okay. We'll finish and activate this one, and then by the time we're done doing the other two, it should be dry for the most part. So then after that, I'm going to come in with the grass green, and again, just lightly kind of touch this in between our lightest and our darker colors. Charlotte, I don't know if I have sharpened any yet. Actually, I think I sharpened one. Yeah, I sharpened this one at one point, and I just used my normal pencil sharpener, I think. Yeah, this one. You can kind of see the blue in there. So this is just a dual-headed pencil sharpener that I got from my dollar store. So it's actually like that, and it's got one bigger sharpener and a smaller one. So you definitely use a bigger sharpener for them, but that's what I used. And I'd say it worked okay. Yeah, no problem, sweets. Okay, I'll come in and activate this, again using my big water brush. I'm just going to blend, starting from the lightest area and working our way into the darker areas. Just cleaning my brush as needed to kind of keep the colors from getting too muddy. I'm pretty sure I have Dorothy. Watercolors for sure. It's not too bad, just make sure that you use a minimal amount of watercolors, and you definitely have to work in layers, that's for sure. Sorry about the awkward angle. I just find that when working with neocolors, or really any sort of wet medium, it's a lot easier to push the lighter colors into the darker colors. So it's a little bit better to have your brush pointing towards the darker colors. Okay, bye. Oh, wait. Had to leave. Okay, welcome back, Connie. I was going to say bye. So we've already got our dark green on these other two lily pads, so I'm going to go in with the olive now, just over top of that dark green, again bringing it out a little bit towards the center, and then just fading it as much as you possibly can. It's a little bit hard to fade with neocolors, but as long as you just lighten up your pressure a little bit, it seems to work. You definitely should, Connie. The nails are great in this book. This was done pretty much with, I think, straight nail colors. I don't think I used anything else on this other than a pen for my white highlights, and then I used a fine liner for the fur on the mice. But I actually followed a tutorial on YouTube for this page, which is pretty interesting because I think they used the whole set of nails and I only have the 40 set, so I changed quite a few things about the page to kind of match, but for the most part I really like how it turned out. And it didn't bleed through at all. It did kind of buckle and wrinkle the page a little bit, but I personally don't mind that. Thanks, Charlotte. Thanks, Connie. Okay, so going in with the light olive now. Again, I'm just going to pop that in. I'm not bringing it quite up to the darker colors. I'm leaving just a little bit of space between them. I'll do that for both of these areas here. And then lastly, we'll come in with the grass green and just kind of lightly pop that in. Again, between those colors. Thanks, Jody. Yeah, I don't either, Connie. I actually like when pages buckle because they sound so nice after. Again, sorry about the odd angle. Here I'll show you what I mean when I say that it's easier to color into your darker areas than your lighter areas. I'm just going to blend that out. So even though I'm starting from the lighter area here and pulling into the darker areas, you kind of see that the darker areas collect on the tip of your water brush, and then you end up with these really weird lines here. You've kind of got to go back in and blend out, which isn't too big of a deal, but it's a little bit extra blending, and when you're working on paper that you don't want it to bleed through or anything, you kind of want to work with as less layers as possible. So while it's doable, it just makes it a little bit more time consuming and risky. Whereas blending towards your darker areas with the tip of your water brush or paintbrush pointing towards the darker areas just seems to work a lot better. You don't end up with those lines. And then it kind of works out because all that extra pigment kind of ends up at the very end of your darkest area and kind of builds up there, creating that really dark ring, which is nice. Hi, Mia. Yes, you're a new name. Thanks for being here. So there's our wash done on our lily pads. I was a little bit worried about the colors, but I think they turned out really, really good. So happy about that. And now we'll just have to pick out some colors to go over top of them with. Just gonna push some things aside here. I got a lot going on my desk right now. Okay. Oh, my tea's gone cold. Okay, so color-wise, I think I'm going to be a little bit odd with this. I don't know why, but sepia is really standing out to me. And that's kind of more of a brown than a green, but I think it'd be a really nice shadow color to kind of pop a little bit of shadow in where these flowers are. So I want that. I definitely want marine green. That's kind of the color that I envisioned these lily pads being. So I'm going to grab that. And then I think I'm going to grab lime peel. And hopefully between those three colors, I can kind of create what I'm seeing in my mind here. But we shall see. So the top lily pad should be dry enough. I'm just going to zoom in. Okay. Well, that should work then, Connie, because this is kind of a brownish gray color. So I'm going to take this in, and I'm just going to pop this in, following along the petals of the flower. And I'm going to create a very dramatic shadow. I'm even going to put a little bit, I'm not going to use a very firm pressure, but I'm going to pop a little bit of this shadow in the lightest parts of the lily pad as well. I don't want it to be too dark because of course it's a lighter part of the lily pad, but I do still want it to be a little bit shadowed. So that's where the pressure comes in. Sounds good, Dorothy, hun. If you're not back before the time I'm done, I hope you have a wonderful day and I'll see you next time. We'll probably be there for a little bit, about half an hour, maybe slightly more. Just putting that little bit of shadow around the flower really makes it kind of jump off the page. Thanks, Robin. No, Elizabeth, we did this one first, so it's actually pretty dry. The ones down here are still a little bit damp, but I don't use a whole lot of water, so they dry pretty fast. If I wasn't going over top with pencil, I probably would use a little bit more. That way the colors would blend better and so it would look better. But if I know I'm going over pencil, I don't really put too much effort into the base layers. So I'm also going to run this sepia in along where we put our darkest shadows. So along the inner vein of the lily pad and then around the outsides as well. And I'm just going to do the very outsides. So I'm going to have a very sharp opaque line going around, and then I'm just going to fade it out from there. I'm not going to bring it out too much. Of course, I'm going to have the shadows on this inner vein of the lily pad come out on both sides. And what that's going to do is it's kind of going to make the lily pad look like it's folded in a little bit, which they technically are, so that's kind of why we're going with that look. Apologies if you can hear that banging. Husband's doing something with the heat ducts or something, I think. Okay, from there I'm going to grab the marine green, and we're going to have quite a bit of this color. So I'm going to start bringing this out from the sepia. And I'm going to start with a very firm pressure at first. And then as I get closer to the center of the lily pad, or the center of this side of the lily pad, I should say, I'm going to start fading out on my color until I'm barely kind of just blushing the color onto the page. And these other colors that we laid down as a base are going to show through, so we'll still be able to see them. We'll kind of change up the color just slightly and kind of knock back the brightness a little bit. Okay, bye Charlotte, sweetheart. I hope you have a great day, hun. So we're going to do that on both sides here. I'm not quite sure how far we'll bring it up yet, but we'll kind of see. Sorry guys, 1 second. I think, I don't know, I'm actually really liking this color, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it out a ways. Still leave a little bit of a kind of highlighted area in the center here, but I want to fade this marine green. In over top of everything, I think. So I've got just this little kind of patch of untouched area with pencil, and that's where I'm going to take in the lime peel. I'm just going to lightly put this in over top of the marine green where we faded it out. I'm not going to go too firm with that though. I just want to get a little bit of that color in, and then I'm just going to lightly color the over top of the highlight, and I think I'm actually going to leave it like that because I don't want to lighten it up too much, but I want to get a little bit of that color in there. Hi, Barbara. I hope you're having a wonderful day at work. Thanks for stopping in. Okay, and then we're going to do the same on this side, although we're not going to have much of a highlight here because most of it is hidden by the flower. So I'm going back in with the marine green. I'm just going to start fading this out from our shadows and basically just putting it over the whole page just lightly. I totally hear you, Barbara. Hopefully you can get some coloring time in today. I think I'm also going to take this color and just pop a little bit of it in around the shadowed areas of the flower. And then again, I'm not using a very firm pressure at all, just kind of fading in. Leaving kind of this little V area here at the tip of the flower as a highlight, and then we'll go in with the lime peel and color that in. Not very firmly, just using that same light pressure. So there you can kind of see the difference between the just base color and then the color with pencil. Definitely brings it quite a bit more to life, mutes the color down. This is pretty much exactly the color that I was seeing in my head, so I'm super, super happy with that. So we'll probably just do this bottom lily pad here, and by then it'll probably be time to hop off. I haven't heard whether Kate's streaming today or not. If she is, she'll be on right after me though. I think, right? Yeah. 1 o'clock, yeah. Okay, so again, starting with the sepia. And a very firm pressure at first, just blocking in this color at the very darkest shadows and then fading it out. Also use a little bit of a lighter pressure to just kind of put in those shadows in around the flowers. Thanks, Connie. The part that's really going to bring this picture to life is going to be the water, though, that's for sure. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do it yet, but I always like using watercolors for water because it just makes it look so much more realistic. So I am pretty excited to do that. The water will probably be our brightest part. I'm not really counting the flowers. The flowers are light, but I wouldn't really classify them as bright. Just to kind of create a little bit of interest in this lily pad, I'm going to have the shadow on the left side of it come out quite a bit more than the shadow on the right side of it. That unevenness will make it look a little bit more realistic and natural. And of course coming in around these flowers to make them pop out a little bit more. From there, I'm going to grab the marine green again. I'm going to blend this into our shadow and bring it out. At first, I'm going to use a really solid pressure, and then I'm going to slowly start relaxing the pressure until we're just blushing the color in and bringing it towards our highlighted area, which is going to be right here. So it's another nice part of putting a base in, because then you know where your highlights and your shadows are going to be. Hi, Kenny! Thanks for stopping in. I hope you're doing well today. So once we've gotten to where we're pretty much just blushing that color in, we're going to bring it up a little bit, fade it out completely, and then we'll go in with our line peel, which again, I don't want to be too bright, so I'm just going to use kind of a medium pressure just to put this in and kind of color over almost everything. Switch back to our marine green. We'll just continue doing the same thing. This little bit of a line showing up here. That usually happens when you have paper underneath that's not all the way through the page. I don't know where that's coming from. It's strange. Just because that line's bugging me, I'm going to darken up the shadow a little bit here. I didn't want to, but it's okay. It's still not quite as dark as the other side, so it's not too bad. Okay, then going back in with the line peel. I'll just lightly throw that color down there. And we've got just a few more minutes left, so let's finish off with this little flower here because we should have just enough time to do that. So again, I'm going to pick up my mulberry. Just pop a little bit of this in where it's going to be shadowed. Some of these shadows you kind of have to guesstimate where they would be because the flower is half off the page. From there, we're going to switch to the hot pink, blend that in over top of the mulberry, fade it out. Also going to pop a little bit of this color in here because this is one of those folded over parts of the flower. Pop a little bit of a shadow in at the bottom part of it. This is actually another one of those flowers here that the wing is going over, so I'm just going to just draw a line to continue that flower through the dragonfly's wing, and then I'm going to avoid that petal for now until that dries.
My sweet guy.
That's okay, honey, your time is almost up anyways. Do you still have toys all over the floor in your room or no?
One over.
Okay. Very carefully going to bring the hot pink up on this tip a little bit, just avoiding where I've marked in the wing. Thanks, Amparo. I hope you have a wonderful day too. Okay, next we're going to go in with the blush pink. I'm going to pop this in and blend over everything and bring it up a little bit, but not quite to the tips because I want to leave them as white as possible. Do a little bit of this here. We're avoiding the tips, so just make sure not to touch that line. Oh, thank you. Okay, and then lastly we'll come in with our white. I'm very carefully still just avoiding that line. It might be dry now, but I don't want to risk it. Okay, and then lastly, coming in with my Posca pen, we'll just put in a few little dots here and there. Okay, and I think that's it for today. So just zoom out so we can see the whole page. Here we go, we've almost got our flowers done, just a couple more. And actually we did finish this one, so I can go in and put a couple extra dots on this one as well. Just to kind of make it match the other ones. So a few more flowers, a few more lily pads, and then basically just the water and the dragonflies. This will be a super quick Paige, super limited palette, but it is going to look awesome. I just have a feeling. So thanks everybody. Again, I'm not sure if Miss Kate is streaming tonight, or for a lot of us this afternoon. If she is, I'll probably see you over there, and if not, I will hopefully see you guys on Wednesday. So again, thanks for joining, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye everyone.